Hey guys, Papa Pete back again, and it's a very special day. I'm going to put in my 2 cents on yesterday's release of the Finnigan Fox gameplay video by Intellivision Entertainment. They announced that game back in August 5th last year, and it was really a surprise at that time. They had very little to show, basically just one screen with a little bit of movement, and nobody really knew how far along that 2D platformer had come. It's their goal at that time was to make a very beautiful rendition of what was formerly Fox and Forest. This was going to be a recreated version, a lot of things added to it, a lot of improvements made. And yesterday, for the very first time, they showed us some gameplay footage. It's not 100% done, not by far. There's a lot of things left to do with it. There'll be a lot of improvements made, but there's certainly enough there to see that you can certainly get excited over the gameplay. Anyway, let's take a look at the gameplay and the video in general. Alright, I really love the splash screen and the logo. The logo is beautiful. See the intro there, a little bit of flying, so that wasn't seen before. I really like this, and this part of it, it shows a little bit of the background. I don't know what things are like out in California right now, but I'm sure people are starting to move on. The video they had out for Astro Smash, yes, it was New Year's Day, January 1st, but it looks like there's so much more activity there in the Intellivision Entertainment offices now. It's great. The UI he just showed, Tommy showed, looked very similar to the one that was shown on the Astro Smash video. Look back and forth. There he is, moving back and forth with the controller, showing the reaction. He's holding it like basically like an NES gamepad. I got to assume that you could hold it like an Intellivision controller, or however you wanted to, and it would work fine with the game. He talks this like a bit of the, I'll call it almost RPG-like qualities of the game, because you could buy hearts and buy mana and those other stuff, maps. You could buy maps, and now we'll get to the gameplay itself. Very, very fluid, very colorful. Yeah, it just looks great. It's almost like a shooter. Oh, here's the part where he says for the first time he's got a lake in front of him, and he could change the season to make it freeze over. You see the blue bar at the top flashing? That's going to be something like you build up. Maybe it's mana, because that was brought up before, and it'll let you take it to different seasons, because you can see how it's dwindling as it goes. Well, he's just turned it off, back to spring, summer, fall. Okay, now it's back to winter again. And back in. Very interesting concept, different dimension of gameplay. But I really do like the different weapons. There's all kinds of different weapons that Finnigan can use. And there, I remember him saying about the targets. You can shoot these targets, and it opens up different areas that you can go to. That's what created the platforms there. Very neat boomerang. Boomerang weapons are always everybody's favorite in a lot of games. Remember Castlevania, the boomerang, and what other ones, I don't know. But boomerang weapons are always great in any video game, and a lot of fun. This really caught my eye as well. I like that. It's winter. That's obviously a beehive. Is he going to turn it back sometime? Or we're going to see that? I wonder what it's like when it's... Well, there you go. There's a bunch of bees. And it's not winter, so they're, of course, they're going to be able to get you, right? Like a real neat concept. So you're not only jumping, shooting, using those different aspects, but you have to consider the seasons as well to help you, almost like a puzzler, to help you get through different aspects of the game. Probably works both ways. Some places winter helps you get through, and some places winter keeps you from going through, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait to see. There's another beehive there that was dormant in the winter. Got a triple gun now, so we've seen, let's see, we've seen single gun, we've seen triple gun. Oh, secret area. That's interesting. Really don't know much about the money. I got to assume the money's used at the beginning, like when we saw where you could buy hearts, buy mana, etc., etc. But anyway, different guns, different weapons that you can use. We've seen the single weapon, we've seen a boomerang type weapon, and of course now we have the triple spread gun. Reminds me of something like right out of Contra or something like that.
See, when you see a thing like this, there's usually a secret.
Okay, another secret area. Find some gold in there.
So I can get over there.
It just, the colors are so vibrant, and when we get to play the game, we'll get the feel. What's so important in these games is the feel of how they play. Really, you can't tell that from a preview video like this, but what you can see is the fluid motion of it. And when you have a fluid motion, if it's put together with good solid controls, it just makes it that much more fun to play. I think of Contra, I think of, I don't know, something even like DuckTales. Just some games have that nice feel when you play them, and other ones really don't. You know, it's like they're a little bit more difficult, but you usually can tell by the motion of the characters whether it's going to have a good feel or not. And this has, like, I'm going to use the word again, amazing fluidity. Good cartoon-like. And to think, I mean, this isn't even finished. Oh, what do we got here going? Oh, just this a different level. All right, we've got different creeping bush monsters. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we really, want people to finish.
Don't really understand what the crystals are for yet. I don't see anything on the screen. I can see where there's gold, and he's picked up gold. There's a neat concept right there. This is obviously fall, and leaves are falling. You can use them as platforms. Oh, okay, and those berries, they fall.
Break apart there.
I watched this first time. I think it was snozberries he called them, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, who put snozberries in my snozberries? There's a heart. Lots of hearts up top too. I wonder if you're gonna have that many hearts to start, or if this is just you have 10 up there in that screen because this is just a tester that they're working on. That'd be my guess there. I would think you'd want to build up your hearts because 10 seems like a lot to start. I mean, you want to, like something like Zelda where you only start with 3 and you build them as you go. That would make more sense. But I could see them having in a demo such as this having more hearts just because they want to be able to get further ahead and test. Just noticing now, okay, he hit the target with the arrow, and it brought up those platforms that time. Very interesting. But again, this is very different looking than the other one, the underground part. But very pretty. No other way to put it. Reminds me a little bit, I don't know, not the chaotic gameplay, but the advancements that were made like in a game like Cuphead, how it looks so amazing with the technological advances of the time. I mean, this is a simple 2D shooter. When I think of 2D shooters, I don't think about games on the Intellivision. The Intellivision, the original Intellivision, was not a game of 2D shooters by any stretch of the imagination. They, to me, became more prominent. Other than like, you had Pitfall or something like that, but even that was a little bit basic. It wasn't, you couldn't encapsulate as many different game aspects, game varieties in a game like Pitfall that you could later on. So I think of the 2D shooters as starting around the Nintendo era. That being said, flying level, this is amazing. It seems to me he mentions as well, this is where the multiplayer will come into it. There's going to be versions of the game you can play multiplayer, and it's going to involve the flying because that'd be more difficult than the actual platform part. But, okay, back to what I was saying before. The platformers seem to come into their own in the Sega Master System NES era. And I've said so many times before, yes, I am excited for the Amico first and foremost because of my love for the Intellivision. And I can't wait to see all these reimagined games. Checkpoint. But I also realize that you can't have a successful system that rests on that nostalgia alone. So you have to encapsulate and bring in all the largest demographic possible, which would include retro 2D shooters. So it's phenomenal to see games like this. I mean, what else is coming that we know of? Earthworm Jim 4, which is a ways off, but it's good to see this one come out first, and it's going to be ready for launch. I mean, it looks great right now, and he keeps saying in this video, it's going to get better, it's going to get better. The music was fabulous. Of course, they used a lot of the original, he said the original composer, the original music from Fox the Forest, but they remixed it all with real instruments, and the little bit that you hear on here is absolutely fantastic. Finish it off with Fox, right on. That is so amazing. Gotta love seeing what we're seeing. Wow. Well, guys, talking about these 2D shooters, it's like, am I a big fan of 2D shooters? Well, who isn't really? If you like retro games, you have to love 2D shooters. I had an NES, all the games, even on the Genesis, and this just looks so fluid and so smooth. Really happy to see it coming, and the progress that they've made since that little snippet they showed us back in August is phenomenal. Thank you very much, Tommy, for showing this. This is exactly what the Intellivision Amico needs to do at this time. Ramp up some of these videos, ramp up some of these releases, get the press baby on board, and we'll see more and more over the next few months as we get ready for the release. I mean, If it's in 2 months, great. If it's in 6 months, great. It's going to be ready. It's just more time to prep great games like Finnigan Fox. Anyway, guys, that's it for my take on Finnigan Fox Preview. I'm Papa Pete, and thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.
Papa
Take care.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50,
You're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer.
what the hell?